Syrian government forces killed 5 Turkish soldiers and wounded 5 more on February 10th in an attack on a Turkish military post in the northwest Syria. The Turkish Defense Ministry has confirmed in a written statement the wounded soldiers were transferred to hospital in border province of Hatay for treatment via helicopter. Ankara has sent major reinforcements to Syria's Idlib region where the attack occurred. The Syrian government offensive in Idlib, the last major enclave of opposition to President Bashar al-Assad, has driven more than 500,000 people from their homes towards the closed Turkish border, threatening a new humanitarian crisis. Italy's foreign minister has said that his country supports Serbia's bid for membership of the European Union and that after Brexit, the EU should, quote-unquote, widen its horizons. Speaking alongside his Serbian counterpart, the Italian foreign minister said including countries in the Western Balkans in the bloc was of crucial significance in order to guarantee stability in the region. Serbia and Montenegro are considered as the front-runners for joining the 27-nation bloc. The bloc is already under pressure after losing the diplomatic and geopolitical clout of Britain, which officially left the union last weekend. The socialist government of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said it would sue the U.S. government before the International Court of Justice for the recent Treasury Department sanctions against state-run airline Conviasa. Now, Maduro asked Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez and Venezuelan Foreign Minister Jorge Ariza to file an international lawsuit against Donald Trump's government for damage to Conviasa, and Conviasa has faced years of upheaval as Venezuela's economy collapses. It was banned in 2012 from flying to the European Union on safety grounds, and in 2017 all international flights were temporarily suspended as it lacked foreign currency to buy insurance. The State Department, NASA and the Pentagon reacted to President Donald Trump's proposed 20 to 21 budget that includes cutting billions of dollars in U.S. foreign aid while seeking to boost NASA and defense research. The 12% increase in the allocated budget is quite worthy of a notice and praise. Trump will seek to make a 21% cut in foreign aid in the proposal. The defense spending request contains the Pentagon's largest research and development budget in 70 years. A senior defense official has confirmed as the military aims to build next-generation capabilities to counter the growing strength of China and Russia. Hong Kong's residents were driven away in buses from a housing block in the New Territories district of Tsinghua after 2 people confirmed with coronavirus living though on different floors. The director of the Centre for Health Protection, Dr. Wong Kah-hing, said the government was investigating the suspected environmental transmission of 2 cases in the building. Hong Kong has confirmed 42 cases of coronavirus, which has killed more than 900 people, all but 2 in mainland China. St. Mary's School in the English city of Southampton closed on Monday amidst coronavirus fears after members of the school community became ill following a visit to China. The BBC also reported that medical centres in the English city of Brighton also closed on Monday after one of its staff members tested positive for the virus. Last week, health officials said a case of coronavirus had been identified in Brighton and they were working to prevent any further spread. Heavy rain pounded areas of Peru over the weekend, causing rivers to overflow and highways to flood. Rain battered the northern town of Tumbes. 101 1,017 kilometers north of Lima near the Ecuador border, flooding streets and cutting off traffic in areas where neither vehicles nor mass transit could get through. In Junin, 204 kilometers east of the capital city of Lima, the rain triggered mudslides and caused dozens of houses to be damaged, fields flooded, and the Canchamayo and Perene rivers overflowed. Peru is in the midst of its rainy season, which usually extends through April. The most populous city of Brazil, Sao Paulo, was brought to a halt on Monday with torrential rain, mudslides and traffic jams. The Tietê and Pinheiros rivers overflowed, flooding nearby motorways and trapping drivers and passengers for hours. Several people had to be rescued by rafts or helicopters after waiting hours on the roofs of their inundated cars surrounded by muddy water. Firefighters used boats to rescue people trapped in their houses and shops in several areas of the city. Authorities are urging people to remain indoors as a precautionary measure. Railway stations and airports across Germany dealt with major transport disruptions due to Storm Sabine. In Germany, around 180 flights to and from Frankfurt Airport were cancelled on February 9th. A spokeswoman for the airport operator Fraport has confirmed, while railway operator Deutsche Bahn said it had mobile response units standing by with chainsaws to clear tracks if necessary. The Fraport spokeswoman also said that the number of cancelled flights represented about 15% of the around 1,200 planned flights in and out of Frankfurt, Germany's main hub. Lufthansa, Germany's largest carrier, said it would cancel short and long-haul flights from Munich airport. Planes fought against the winds and rain of Storm Ciara as they struggled to take off and land at the UK's Birmingham airport. Storm Ciara lashed Britain and northern continental Europe with heavy rain and wind speeds that reached more than 145 kilometers an hour in places, forcing the cancellation of hundreds of flights, train services and sports matches. More than 200 flood warnings were issued across Britain, which recorded a maximum wind speed of 93 miles an hour at Aberdaron in Wales. Planes wobbled mid-air as they prepared to land at Zurich airport as Storm Ciara lashed northern Europe with heavy rain and wind gusts, forcing the cancellation of hundreds of flights across the continent. After a lull on February 10th afternoon, gusts are expected again until February 11th, according to the Swiss weather agency. Schedule boards at Zurich's airport displayed cancelled flights in red as several, mostly to Britain, Paris and Amsterdam, were axed. Switzerland's Geneva and Basel airports were also affected. Intrepid bike riders gathered amid the strong winds of Storm Ciara for the 6th ever Dutch headwind cycling competition. In the video, cyclists can be seen making slow progress amidst gusty winds due to Storm Ciara that lashed UK. Competitors in the World Marathon Challenge encountered extreme conditions in Antarctica on the second stage of the 2020 edition of the race. After reaching the race venue aboard a Russian cargo plane, the runners were met by cold and windy conditions, even by Antarctica standards. The race around a looping track saw the runners have to spend half their time running straight into the icy wind, meaning times were around an hour slower than on the first stage of the race in Cape Town in South Africa. The World Marathon Challenge is an annual event that sees competitors run 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. This year, the first marathon was in Cape Town, Africa, and the final marathon takes place in Miami in North America. Fishing skiffs chased and shot at a vessel carrying environmental activists monitoring a near-extinct porpoise species in a protected zone of Mexico's Gulf of California. There are thought to be only between 6 and 20 of the vaquita porpoises left. Poachers have been flouting an international ban on entering the species' last sanctuary off the coast of Mexico. The small stub-nosed porpoise could become the first species subject to maximum protection under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species to become extinct, raising questions about the effectiveness of the convention. The attack on the Sea Shepherd activists happened in what the group described as a critical zone where several vaquita porpoises were recently sighted. It said at least 2 bullets landed in the ocean alongside the vessel. There were no injuries reported though. Colombia hopes this year to eradicate 130,000 hectares of cocoa, the base ingredient in cocaine. A wide variety of tools will be made available to remove the coca plants, including the possible reintroduction of aerial spraying of the herbicide glyphosate. The coca crop in 2017 had the capacity to produce 921 tons of cocaine, according to the U.S. government. Forest officials in India's western Vadodara city began the census of crocodiles in this extensive exercise that will be carried in 2 parts, including the city area covering approximately 32 kilometers of the Vishwamitri River and the rural area